Alright guys, and welcome to the Victory Vault. This is probably the most valuable part of the course in my opinion, because in this part we discuss sales, and sales is the key to making money. Without selling, you're not going to make any money. So reality is you're going to need to make contacts with people, and you're going to need to sift through the non-qualifiers and get through to people that do qualify. You're also going to need to maintain your mindset throughout this process, because not everybody's going to buy from you. So if somebody doesn't buy, you can't let it affect your psyche, because if you do, then it will affect your ability to sell to somebody who was going to buy from you, if that makes sense. But we're going to get straight into it. Like I said, guys, this is a fast-paced course. We're not here to muck around. So let's just have a quick scan through what we're going to be touching on in this part. But essentially, we're going to be looking at your mindset. That is the most fundamental thing in sales, keeping a level head, the law of averages. These are things that are at play in nature, which we have no control over. Understanding that there are, rules to the game that we cannot adjust. They are just the way they are. Hypothesis. Your hypothesis is your message. It's your objective and it's your purpose for touching base with these people. Why are you calling them? What are you trying to achieve? You want to have a really clear message for them. Moving on to the actual tools that we're going to use to generate a quality sale. We're going to need to use tonality. So I'm not talking to you like this in a stable tone, because everyone would be bored shitless of me after 5 seconds. I'm using tonality, so you can hear that when I'm finishing a sentence, I'm finishing it on a high note. I'm not finishing it on a low note. I'm not saying, hey guys, how are you today? I'm saying, hey guys, how are you today? It's a tonality thing. You guys are going to get better at it the more you do it, but this is really important. Qualifying your customer, right? That's fundamentally going to stop you wasting time with people that aren't going to buy. And then the opposite of that, understanding buying signals. So if somebody is interested in what you're offering, recognize how they are showing their interest, and recognize that there are certain moments where you need to use certain closing styles or sales styles. Okay, we're going to touch base on all of these things in detail. But finally, the objection handling side of things is something that I think is probably the most valuable thing here, because the number of sales that I've made from people that were thinking they weren't going to buy because of a certain objection, or they had an issue in their mind, if you can handle that objection and get them to realize that it's actually not worth it's not worth not purchasing the product because of their objection, and you get them to sort of recognize that their objection isn't actually valid, that's when you have the power. So you want to keep that power and keep that control throughout all of these processes. However, we're going to discuss that in the pitch. Now the pitch is really going to be word for word verbatim of what you guys can say online, speaking to people in emails. It doesn't really matter how you deliver it, but obviously phone is going to be the best for generating volume and cutting through the dross. But let's get straight into it, guys. This is obviously the intro. Appreciate you getting this far, and look forward to teaching you all.